never get comfortable.
This is your couch. Get as comfortable as you want. Okay. Lay down if you want.
No, I'm not gonna lay down.
No one ever told us that we had to sit up. We imposed that on ourselves.
We just lay down through all of our videos.
I could be sitting backwards. We don't have to.
I do find that I'm often like this on a Zoom, and I wonder if people find it offensive.
No, it doesn't look like. I mean, unless you're yawning.
Well, no, I'm going. This week's topic is if we think we would be good parents or not.
No.
You really don't think you'd be a good parent?
I mean, here's the thing. I like kids a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I get along with them really well. Partially because a lot of times kids will be like, "Are you also a kid?" And I think that, and I go, "Yeah," and they buy that. They go, "Yeah, that makes sense." Like, even if their parent is younger than me, they'll be like, we'll be playing and stuff, and they'll oftentimes go, "Are you also a kid?" And like,
I'm gonna call a fact check on that. How many kids have actually asked you that? Is it more
3.
than one? 3?
Mm-hmm. Have said, "Are you a kid or are you an adult?" Because I'm like at the table with adults coloring with the kid.
Yeah, but everyone does that. I do that all the time.
Yeah, but because you like kids.
Not really.
Then why are you talking to them?
Well, I like my nieces.
Okay, there you go. These are strangers' kids. One of the best things was I was at this dinner with my dad and his like AA friends, and he has 2 AA friends who are my age, and they had their 2-year-old, and I was playing with the 2-year-old basically the whole time because I was like, I don't want to interact with adults. And then at the end, the parents were like, "Okay, Karen, like, do you want?" Because they had 2 different cars. "Do you want to go with mommy? Or you want to go with daddy?" And he held my hand and said he wanted to go with me.
Being picked by a kid is very special.
It was amazing.
The only thing better is being picked by an animal.
I think kid is better.
You would rather be picked by a kid than by an animal?
Yeah, I think
Hard to disagree.
I think I would enjoy teaching them about stuff and like getting to choose like, "Oh, did you know about this?" Like, one thing I really do enjoy is that it's their first time encountering anything.
Mm-hmm.
My ex's niece would want to play The Floor is Lava, and eventually I was like, "Do you know what lava looks like?" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Here." And then we just watched a bunch of videos of volcanoes, and I knew that was the first time she ever saw a volcano. You can just show them things about the world.
Now I'm wondering if I've ever seen real lava.
Or a picture, or whatever. Or I was like...
I've definitely seen fake lava.
What are you talking about? You've seen videos of volcanoes erupting.
I have.
You must have.
Yeah. No, I think I went to a volcano, so then I must have seen the hardened lava.
Yes,
right?
I've seen the hardened lava.
Yeah.
Or then...
Did I go to a volcano? I think that I will be a good parent in that, like, I don't mark success the way maybe other parents would mark success.
Ah, yes.
Like, I wouldn't be obsessed with, like, their grades, or if they were, like, so good at a certain activity. It would be more like, what makes you happy? You want to quit? Great. No problem. Love to quit. I think that where I get the most worried is my OCD.
Yep.
And if I can handle how dirty kids are. But my sister says that you just sort of get over it. That, like, just too much is going on that you, like, can't even worry about it.
I think so. Oh, do you want to check you got a text?
No, I'm okay. I'm recording.
But did it...
for my job.
But did it... Like, even with my dog, I was like, he just threw up in my hand one time. And I was like, yup.
No, but things that come from them is different. Like, I'm actually, like, not that bad about, like, snot or my dog.
If they touch you outside.
But, like, at the outside.
They touch you, yeah.
And, like, you know, seeing all these kids that are, like, at the airport, just, like, on the floor of the airport or, like, on the floor of the store or whatever. And I also think that the thing that, like, really stuck with me was in my child and adolescent psychology class.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like we have this idea that, like, if you're good at parenting, then your child will be well behaved.
Oh, no. It's a crapshoot.
But, like, yeah, like, just some kids are much harder to parent than other kids.
Crapshoot.
And, like, it can feel so frustrating that, like, you're doing something wrong, but certain temperaments are just, like, way more difficult. And so I think if I had an easy temperament kid, I think I could do a good job. But I worry that if I have a bad temperament kid, I will not.
But I also think there are ways in which parents can help a kid who is struggling that they just sometimes don't. But I don't think you should have a kid unless you're prepared for all scenarios.
Right.
Like people who are like, well, I don't want an autistic kid. I'm like, well, too fucking bad. That's the crapshoot you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We've been sold this lie about parenting, like you said, where it's like, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know, you can be like, well, I'm gonna teach them Little League every week and they'll be a baseball player. It's like, they might not. Like, you can't go into it with all these expectations of what your kid is gonna be. You have to like meet your kid where they're at, which is why I can't do it.
Like, if your kid liked the Little League, you couldn't handle it?
No, I need to sleep.
Yeah,
that's my big thing.
I am very worried about sleep.
I am a very big candidate for postpartum psychosis.
Yes.
Massive candidate for that.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah, like I mean, just from my mental illness situation, I just know that if I can't sleep, it'll be bad. And you know what it is also? Is that I read a lot of these like Reddit parenting things for our Reddit, show that we do. Too Long Did Read It.
We do a Reddit show.
We do a Reddit show. Too Long Did Read It on your feed for podcasts. And so with that, it'll be like it's almost like less important what the kid is like, and more important that you have a partner that is helpful to you. So many of these people are like, I hate being a mom, I hate being a dad, I'm gonna just say it, my truth. And then in the comments, people will be like, do you actually hate it, or do you have like a fucking terrible husband or a terrible wife?
What about single parents?
I mean, you just need help. You need, like, you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And so, like, it'll be these people who are like, my kid is so difficult, I have to do all these things. And then people will be like, where's your wife? Like, where's your husband?
Well, not everybody has.
No, but they'll say like, my husband, blah blah blah.
But have a partner who's just
yes,
not helping.
and he's just not helping, and that's like a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that the thing I'm gonna need more than anything else is noise canceling headphones.
Yes.
I think that I can probably tolerate a lot other than screaming or crying.
That's the problem.
But what if I'm just always wearing headphones?
I think that's fine.
I think as long as I can do that, then I think that like my patients will be able to tolerate it, but I can't handle the loudness.
And if it's that bad, the kid will cry the louder. You know what I mean? If you can't hear it, you're like,
no, obviously I would be wearing it when I'm with the kid. And
I know,
can see the kid,
I'm just kidding.
Rather than like, I can't hear, it's not happening.
You know what I think is going to happen for you?
What?
This is my prediction. Mark it.
Uh-oh.
I think you're going to have twins.
No.
I think you will.
I don't want that.
I don't know how to explain it to you.
I don't have any twins in my family.
Okay, but here's why. Because you and John like compromised on one, and I think he's gonna get his way. I think like the way that your life goes, like John would get his way. You know what I mean? And
that's so sad.
And then like you would just have to, not like that John specifically, but that just like ironic things happen to you all the time.
They really do.
Yeah.
Right? John is like, you are a sitcom character.
Yeah. So like you being like, thank God we did this whole compromise, and then you would get pregnant with twins.
Like the day of my wedding.
Yeah.
My dad's rental car broke down.
Yeah.
And blocked my car so that I couldn't get to my own wedding.
Yes.
That's a plot in a sitcom.
Right. So that's the kind of thing that leads me to believe that you will have twins. Because it's like you're just like, are you fucking? I think like it's a show called Are You Fucking Kidding Me? It's just your life.
I think the thing that would upset me the most is if my kid didn't like dogs.
Well, I mean, they would grow up around dogs, so I think they would feel okay about them.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It really helped me actually, because my mom said to me the other day, she was like, I didn't really want to have kids. And
yeah,
I was like,
a lot
what?
of our moms didn't.
I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, like, I was like, so you did it for dad? And she was like, yeah, but it ended up being the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that I don't have like an overwhelming desire for it, but a thing that I've been doing is I now talk about it as if it's happening.
Yeah.
And so because we kind of have a plan of when we would start trying.
Yeah.
And now I like talk about that.
Yeah.
Because before, when it was like, will we, won't we, it felt very scary to me.
Right.
Now that I'm giving myself a lot of time to prepare,
yeah,
I feel less nervous about it. I feel like I can do the newborn phase when that's all that I'm doing, right? Yeah. When it's like I'm right now meant to be a mommy.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't have to work.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do anything other than be a mommy.
Right.
For like those first few months. It's as soon as I have to work.
Yeah.
And be a parent that I get freaked out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully by that time the kid's like, I mean,
3 months old.
you can wash a dish, right?
Like, I think the problem in America is that like childcare is so expensive.
That's a problem.
You just end up working to pay for your childcare.
Yep.
And so I'm worried about getting kind of locked in that
cycle. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, even having anyone help, you have to trust them. Then you have to go and vet the preschool, and then you have to like make sure.
Well, preschool is different. Preschool is like different than a nanny or daycare.
Daycare, right? That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like to vet the daycare.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think my mom's whole thing is that like the fact that we are outside of her body is distressing to her. Do you know what I mean? Like that we like are out in the world, and that's why she's like, there's a hurricane 5 hours from you. Are you alive? You know what I mean? Like I think that's like really distressing to her.
I think that hopefully I'll be okay with that level. Like again, like my mental illness is so non-logical that I think I'll be like, go explore the world. Just don't touch a guardrail.
But I also don't know if I'm gonna have kids, so.
Oh, so now where you don't know. Before it was a hard no.
No. I mean, no, I'm not going to unless something happens. I would say it'd be interesting if I just like got pregnant, because then I'd be like, wow, that little swimmer really wanted it. You know what I mean?